Hey, you're listening to the Smoke Meat Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Pittman, and today we have got an awesome guest for you. Been looking forward to this one. We have got Joey Belladonna, the lead singer for ANTHRAX. I'm not going to let you hear a bunch of me just jabbering about him. We're just going to get this thing going here on Smoked Meat. So how the hell are you today, Joey?
I'm doing just fine. I mean, you know what? Today we lost a little power about 10 minutes ago, and I was a little late coming on your show, but you know what? It's all good, man. We know how to adapt to all these things these days. But I'm doing just fine. How about you?
Man, if I was any better, I'd be twins. I'm sitting here getting to talk to the great Joey Belladonna, man. How the hell could it get better?
Oh, well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. I'm glad that people dig what we do, and it really puts you in a good mode. Because musically, I mean, when I find stuff that I like, and it does wonders for you,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I believe music heals. Music takes you wherever you want to go. I mean, I can't tell you what I was doing in 1984, but you can name a song from then, and I can tell you exactly where I was when I was listening to it.
Yeah, I love that. Certain songs, man, they hit you so quick. You can just remember everything about it.
Yeah,
Amazing how that is.
yeah, I love music. I play a little bit of guitar, not enough to. I mean, I don't even play in front of my kids. I'm that bad. I can chicken pick. That's about it. But I have fun with it. I've got a thin line telly that I play around with, and it does good. It's good for the soul, and music does that for me.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. I appreciate that just as well.
Yeah, I thought about doing the online lessons, and through this show, I've got access to guitar gods, Kenny Olson, George Pahone, all these people, and I don't do it.
So I take you're a guitar player yourself, right?
A little bit. I have
Yeah.
fun with it. I'm not really great, but I'm learning. I can do two chords now. I can do a D and an A
So you
without
were actually you
without
wanted to
looking,
you were looking to take lessons. You were saying.
thinking about it.
Yeah, you know what? Especially if you're like in that mode of like really wanting to pick up stuff. I mean, I know you can go online and explore some stuff. A lot of people are obviously getting so much better quicker now that they can visualize things online and just pick up every kind of questionnaire that you could ever find. So there's nothing wrong with lessons,
Oh
and
yeah,
applying stuff to whatever you want to do. And again, even if it's a hobby, so what? You're feeling good about the progress.
yeah. Yeah, when
Yeah.
I started this, I'd never done a podcast, didn't know anything about it. I just decided I'm doing a podcast, and now, 2 years later, I've charted in 10 countries. I have great guests, and I just have fun with it, so it works.
Yeah, I like it. I'm enjoying doing them myself because, again, it's just nice to have conversation with people and just have the banter that it takes to be into music together.
Yeah, yeah. And we got an airplane flying over. I'm out here in my cook shack doing this. We just bought 12 acres of land, and I've got a pavilion on it, and I've decided this is my space. And I
Sounds
love sitting out here doing it.
wow. In fact, talked to a few people that are moving out to Georgia now, and they're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, I was born here and I was raised here. Moved away for about 10 minutes, but we finally settled south of Atlanta here, and we like it pretty good. I work in Atlanta as a paramedic, and it's definitely interesting. I've been doing that for 31 years, so.
Wow, that's
Uh,
good. That's a good take. Was it? Are you in the truck and doing all the calls and all that kind of stuff?
yeah,
Yeah. Actually, speaking of singers, David Lee Roth was doing a lot of that kind of stuff.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, it was definitely. He can tell you some stories about him. You know,
Oh man,
showing up at people's houses and taking care of people, and look up and said, "Are you?"
that
Uh,
I could not imagine having him as a partner. That would just be amazing. I'd love to
yeah,
interview him.
yeah. Well, yeah. Those are some really good interviews. David's definitely unique.
Yeah, a little bit. I just saw a documentary. I think it was on Netflix or Prime. I can't remember which one, about the early days of Van Halen, and it's got a bunch of stuff from him when he was younger and talking to people, and oh man, it was awesome.
Yeah, there's a great history. Sorry to have the passing of Eddie.
Yeah,
what a gem. Nobody could touch that style
yeah,
like that. He had a unique. I loved his writing. I loved his sound. And I got to jam with his son on a cruise ship that we did, one of those rock cruises,
yeah.
and we did some Van Halen. It was awesome. He was also really talented,
Oh
very
man,
talented.
yeah. I mean, I just when I heard that he passed, that was a blow because, like I said, I mean, he was a. I hate to use the word pioneer, but I mean, honestly, he was. You know, that sound, nobody had heard anything like him before, and nobody's gonna hear anything like him again.
No, I mean, there's just some people that just have a style that you just can't. I mean, I love that originality type of thing where it's not that easy to be those people. Some people may want to copy all that. You can learn every lick, but to be that unique on your own, to have those great ideas and be able to do it album after album.
Yeah,
I love originality. That's one of my favorite things. Even coming into Anthrax, and while being in it, to be able to have my own style, which I wasn't aware of until I started singing with them. Because I really hadn't had a chance to kind of dig into something that I could try it for real. Like, I wrote originals when we were younger and jammed a little bit, but not like this. And to listen back to like the first, Spreading the Disease and Armed and Dangerous, I'm like, wow, it's
yeah,
pretty cool. I didn't expect it, and it was a pretty easy transition for me to just walk into that and start singing over it, even though it's crazy music and it has its ups and downs. It's like challenging moments, but it's nice. You know?
yeah. You know, how did you walk into that gig? I mean, just young Joey, all of a sudden, boom, I'm in Anthrax. How did that happen, man?
I was I was jamming covers for a while. I was up in Plattsburgh, believe it or not, a small area up north, basically, and all close to Montreal, basically. And I got a call from my dad saying there was this band, Anthrax, would like you to come down and check the band out. It wasn't really, to me, it wasn't any audition because I wasn't looking. I mean, technically, I suppose it was an audition, but I didn't feel like I was auditioning anything. I just walked in. I had no idea what was going on. There was no script or nothing. And I was in a band before that where my name got floated around, the first Rainbow band. We had a band called Bible Black,
Hmm.
and we really never got going out of the house. So that's why I moved to Plattsburgh, just to keep myself busy. I couldn't sit around, even though I wish we would have gotten off the ground because we're like a Black Sabbath, Deep Purple type of music.
Hmm.
And that's how my name got out. And of course, I flew down to Anthrax in Ithaca on a propeller plane. My first flight, you couldn't even hear my Walkman. Remember the Walkman?
Oh yeah,
I had that on, and I barely could hear the music. But again, when I showed up, I had no idea who they were. Never heard the music before, and I just walked in, and we started chatting. They said, "Hey, you want to give it a shot, and try some stuff, and listen to some stuff." I don't quite remember all the events, how we got to the microphone, but it wasn't very long after then. Um, they liked what they heard from me, and I mean, we always laugh because I didn't know what to do at first, and they're like, let's check your mic, get some warmed up. I mean, hey, if you want to warm up or do anything, I just busted out some Journey, and those guys just kind of like the seats flipped upside down and like, well, wait a minute. They didn't expect me to come in and do that.
yeah. Cause
You know,
Steve Perry's a hard one to do, man.
yeah. So I threw a little tidbits of that stuff out, and even though they were probably excited, I assume, and that's what I understand. And at the same time, probably go, wonder how you could do on our music. So, but they asked me if I wanted to stay, and I'll check it out, and I guess the rest is history at this point.
Yeah,
There's a long history, 40 years now.
yeah. That was just this month too.
Yeah, that's right. We had our live stream. We've been celebrating some stuff online. Look back in time kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
With some brief stories of incidents and stuff. I think I don't know if you've seen any of those,
Yeah.
and if you haven't, probably just as well because there's just much more to say on all those stories on my thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
But more to say. But
Right.
it's a cool look back. It's nice to see what we've accomplished, and then great musicians chiming in and congratulating us in different ways, which is an honor.
Yeah, technology is so awesome because even 10 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to live stream that. If y'all wanted to do a 40th anniversary thing, you'd have had to tour and just go everywhere, and it would have been a logistical nightmare. With this, it's boom, let's hit everybody at once, and it's awesome what we're living in now.
Yeah, I know, and it's definitely a much broader accomplishments. I think hell, you could be in Europe tonight and you could be talking to me, or South America, and we could be just talking on Zoom or video or whatever, or I could be performing for someone live, and it's nice. I'm not sure that it's my favorite thing to do, but I also would do it in a heartbeat if somebody wanted it in the right fashion and would enjoy it.
Yeah.
I live stream good. I just did a Dio trip there too, for Ronnie Dio's cancer foundation, and we did a live stream with that, and that was pretty kick-ass.
Yeah. Yeah. And the one thing is, there's nothing like the feel of an audience, though, because I know whenever I'm on stage doing comedy, I feed off of that. That's what gives me my go. And
yeah,
but to know that people are watching anyway and enjoying it, it's just an awesome thing. I love making people smile. It's what I do. And
yeah, it's wonderful, especially if you can win them over with your talent.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, I always say dazzle them with brilliance or baffle them with bullshit. Either one. But hey, it works. They smile when they leave.
That's awesome.
But yeah. So what have you been up to here recently, man? I know you stay busy. That's for sure.
Well, basically, when I stopped on March 6th, did my Journey band, did the one show. By the time we came back, things were just kind of kicking hard into the whole pandemic thing. So stayed low throughout the time until just recently. We just decided, I had those 2 live streams. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't remember. Maybe it was October. I can't remember when we did one of those We did a song Gung Ho. One of those. You film at home, I'll film at home, and we'll put it together like we were together.
Yeah.
We'll do one of those. That was cool. That's about it. And then of course I've done a lot of Q&As online. I've done some podcasts. I've done some TV shows. I've started to travel a little bit. And we did a show just recently too in Wisconsin, one of those festivals, and that was awesome. It was a great show. First time back, 600 and some days.
Yeah.
And great. We're going to Sturgis this next week.
Oh, I would love to be up there. Y'all are doing the Buffalo Chip, aren't you?
Yeah, we're playing that. Black Label's going to open up. We're going to play later that night. Mm-hmm. And looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a pretty decent day.
Yeah, I've never gotten to go to Sturgis. I would love to go. I don't ride because I had 2 strokes about 6 years ago, and I'm not coordinated enough for it.
And, you don't want to be on the bike, and you want to be definitely be careful on that. But
yeah. Sorry
to hear that you're doing well.
Yeah, doing great, man. Back on the ambulance, doing what I do. And I'm proof music heals. There's a guitarist out there named Monty Montgomery, and he did a remake several years ago of Romeo and Juliet, the old Dire Straits song.
Mm.
And he plays an acoustic electric Alvarez is what he plays. And when he does this song live, the solo's like 10 minutes long, and it sounds like 3 people playing at once. and he's the only guitar.
It's just him, huh?
Yeah, and I was out in my cook shack at my old house. I lose words sometimes. Sorry about that. But I was out there cleaning guns and listening to metal as loud as I could. And I decided I wanted to hear that, so I downloaded it. And before I realized it, I was singing it note for note. And,
Wow.
and that helped me through it. And I let him know it. And he actually called me to thank me for giving him that note. But
Well, you know, it's nice. Guitar solos kind of stick with you as a memorable piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I like it. I like solos like that. I'm very much into lead guitar.
Yeah.
I love.
Yeah, and that's what I would love to play is lead. I don't ever see it happening, but yeah, it's fun anyway.
Well, you know, sometimes lead, to me, some of the simplest short versions of something, just melodic and nice and easy. You know, I mean, look at some of the Beatles solos. You know,
Yeah.
you know, it's a nice and simple but catchy as hell.
Yeah,
You know, if that's one of your first solos, you know, or anything you do, you'd be surprised how much more you can accomplish if you keep pushing ahead, you know?
yeah. And what's funny is my cousins, all of them on my dad's side, can play anything. I mean, they could pick up a pine limb and a shoestring and sound like Hendrix, and then turn around and play the same thing on the French horn. I mean, there's nothing they can't play. And I just didn't inherit that gift. It's hilarious. One of them actually, I think he played on Edwin McCain's demo album or demo tape. So, I mean,
No kidding. Wow.
yeah, they played everywhere. But yeah, I didn't get that.
What's your favorite style of music at this point?
At this point, it's funny. I've always been that old guy that has the same playlist, and because I've started doing the show, you know, if I'm going to interview a musician, I like to listen to them beforehand, so I kind of have an idea. And I've gotten so much new stuff, but I'm kind of all over the world musically. I love Five Finger Death Punch, Metallica, Anthrax, of course. I love. I mean, hell, I've got Wayne Newton on my playlist. I've got Queen.
Oh, I am too. You know, we were listening to Herb Alpert the other day in the car.
Tijuana Brass, baby.
My wife had that. We were just jamming with it, you know. It doesn't matter. We're not like, oh, God, turn this shit off, you know. We listen to a lot of different music, you know.
Yeah.
Keeps your mind open and different feelings, you know, different modes.
Yeah, and what's funny is my partner on the ambulance is a really young guy, and I'll hijack the Bluetooth sometimes and just be riding along, and it's funny. He thinks I have the perfect song for every occasion because I just seem to, if something pops up, boom, I'm hitting a song that fits for that. And
well, that's a good thing. You can pull up anything anytime now and
yeah,
explore. I do like that. I mean, remember you used to go to the store and like, man, I don't know, maybe I don't know, should I get this record? I'm not sure what time. Like, you know, you might be able to listen to a little bit on headphones or something.
yeah,
But even then, it's just you feel like you're rushed and everything. It's like, okay, I got one choice, and what do I want to buy? I'll buy these, you know, or I'll buy 6 used albums that I know that I should have bought a long time ago, that kind of thing. But you get right online and you can start listening to stuff. I love that. There's great ways of being able to catch music quick.
yeah.
But at the same time, we lost out on a lot of album sales because a lot of people don't buy. You know, I mean, I like buying stuff still.
Yeah. And I'm glad vinyl's making kind of a comeback. The house we bought in the attic, I actually found 2 record players. One of them works and one of them doesn't. But in one of the sheds, there was a stack of albums about a foot thick, and I went looking through them, and a bunch of it's old gospel stuff, and they were just ruined. They were warped, scratched. But at the bottom of this stack, there were 3 albums. One of them was Jethro Tull, War Child. One was Fleetwood Mac, Tusk, with both albums in it. And I can't think of the third one to save my life, but it was actually a pretty good one. And all 3 of them are in pristine condition. I'm like, where in the hell did these come from under this stack? And I just love vinyl. I remember my first record that I ever bought with my own money was Kiss Dynasty. I think I was 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Albums were definitely a turning point in our lives, you know, that brought us the music You know, it really brought us the music right away. Them the 45s, man. I had so many 45s.
Oh man, I had stacks of them. Oh
Somebody
yeah.
gave me a full jukebox full of them.
Oh man.
You know, remember the old 45s that used to come out of the jukebox? And,
Yeah.
you know, these, you know, definitely have some, talk about worn down, but it's so great looking at, like, what was on the B-side of some of these songs. You know, it's like, holy cow, even the Beatles, every B-side was a hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
And, you know, all the little clicks and pops and the white noise on them just gives character to it to me. You know, I've actually got a filter on here where I can add that to different things. And once in a while, I'll download a song and just add that to it, just to have that sound.
Oh, yeah, nothing like a good skip on a record, too, and you got to go.
Oh, yeah.
Be out, so, hey, can somebody get that?
Yep. Oh yeah, it seemed like such a different time back then. Everything wasn't digital. You know, you knew if you were a poor upcoming band and you were piecing together, you know, 4 or 5 foot pieces of tape to try and get one last take, you knew you had to be on point. Now it's, oh, we've got endless supply of storage. Go, just roll with it. And
yeah, I just picked up another iPod, one of those.
yeah,
You could put, I don't know, 5,000 songs or something.
yeah,
It's amazing to put on something, right?
yeah, yeah. And it seemed like everybody brought their A game on the first shot back then. Not saying people don't now, but they don't like they did then, though.
Well, we put records together, man. We really make sure that we do something strong and very memorable. You know, we don't like to cut any corners at all when it comes to putting a great record together. You know.
Yeah.
So.
And that's me. You know, I've been doing comedy for about 30 years now, and I've only been paid once for it. You know, I've never hit it hard enough. I haven't paid the dues to where I feel like I need to start doing the big shows and get paid a lot and all that, because I do it for fun. But I always bring my A game because I know everybody that came in there paid to come in and see me. So, you know, and I'm like you. Even this show, you know, people aren't paying to hear it, but they're taking their time to listen to it. And I want them to hear the best. I want them to hear this show and go, damn, that's good. You know, I do everything myself. You know, Eileen and Jimmy help me a lot with guests, and they are so awesome. I love them. But, you know, production and everything, it's just me. So I feel like I have to bring that A game every time, because if I don't, people are going to know it.
It's satisfying that you can do it by yourself, and you can take all the credit, take full blame too at the same time.
Yeah, I had a guy, when I first started, it was helping me get some guests, and he was giving me some pretty good guests. You know, I was doing a good job with them, and he wanted to take credit for my show. And he actually wanted a piece of my show. He wanted like 40%. He said, you can get sponsors, and then we'll split whatever they do at 40-60.
You're talking about your comedy show?
Yeah, about my podcast here.
Oh, really? What's he gonna? Why is he going to get a piece of your show?
Yeah, because he's an idiot.
Oh,
He is an
okay.
idiot. He wanted a piece of my show because he was getting me guests. You know, these people were paying him to put them on their shows. And yeah, he wasn't getting any of my. He actually got mad and stopped working with me over that. But I don't care. I mean, this is mine. I don't want to monetize it, you know, necessarily. I won't turn down $100 million, you know, like they gave Rogan.
Yeah, Rogan. Yeah,
But,
that's too big, right?
Yeah.
How do you know Arlene? How do you guys hook up?
I actually found Jimmy on Facebook, and I reached out to him, and he knew this other person also. And he's like, yeah, man, we'll be happy to help you out. And I started booking guests through them, and they have just been so phenomenal. I mean, they've helped me book people who weren't even their clients. You know, I can say, hey, I want this person, and they'll bust their tail to try and get them for me.
Isn't that great? Because that's kind of like a lot of times when we all try to help each other. You know, that's not a problem. You know, and if people, you know, use the help, you know, it's great.
Yeah, and you know, they don't pressure me. If they give me somebody I don't really want to do, I can tell them, and it don't hurt their feelings. They don't take it personally. Which
yeah, I mean,
I think I've done everybody that they've sent me, because that's who I am. You know, I've had a couple that I saw them and did some research and said, what in the hell? And those turn out to be my very best interviews. It's
Yeah,
strange.
you never know. I mean, shit.
Yeah. It is so weird. I'm sitting there thinking, how in the fuck am I gonna do this interview, man? This person is insane. And then I just start talking to him, and I mean, we're just fast friends. I guess crazy is my wheelhouse. I don't know, but but it works. And
Hey, isn't it really? Podcast could be called a talk show. You know, just a good banner back and forth as if we were sitting out in your backyard.
yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
where I'm sitting right now. Is in the backyard.
Awesome. How's your weather? You got some nice weather in Georgia.
We've got a cold front coming through right now, so it's like 75 or 80, so it feels phenomenal.
Yeah, you like? I know, none of that 100 stuff.
Oh, dude, last week I knew how Ace Ventura felt inside of that Rhino. It was hot as shit last week.
Yeah, like what's the high you got? What was the last temperature you saw? What was the high?
I don't, try this again. I'm not really sure because if I look at it, then I feel hotter. So I don't really look at it, but I started being able to work out in the yard because my schedule got normalized. And I've got a lot to do out here. You know, we've got trees that we want to get down. I'm chipping up limbs and cutting grass and clearing places. And in about a week and a half, I lost 25 pounds. So
wow,
that's how hot it was.
Wow. Are you a Falcons fan by any chance?
A little bit. We actually worked their training camp a couple of years ago, and the company I'm with covers their football games. So I'm probably going to go to a couple of those this year.
Have you been in the stadium yet, the new one?
I have not. I've had a lot of chances to because we work a lot of the events there, and between the house and my normal shift, I just haven't had a chance to pick anything up.
I saw the making of that stadium.
It is insane. It is freaking huge.
Yeah, I'm ready for football. I know it's coming.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah. What college team do you pull for?
I'm actually a Notre Dame.
Okay, that's respectable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. What do you? Obviously, Georgia, right?
Well, I've not got loyalty to really any college team. I've got several that I like. I like Georgia. I like Tennessee. I like Auburn because I've got a friend who his son goes to Auburn on a full ride scholarship. But my wife is a diehard Georgia fan, and she gets very passionate about the games, enough where my daughters won't stay in the living room when she's watching one, and I won't sit right beside of her.
I can respect something about it, man. It brings out something in you that I don't know. I mean, me and my wife, we get into football so much. It's you got the ticket, and hell, there's a game this Thursday, the whole game. I don't know. I just can't wait. I don't get too freaked out over the preseason, but I do enjoy watching the game. So.
Yeah.
And then you got the Hall of Fame inductees. You got two this year because we didn't get one last year. So Saturday and Sunday they're doing two full, and I love those speeches. I mean, they're so passionate, and I love the stories.
Yeah, and I love the athletes now that actually still take responsibility for that. They understand their responsibilities as athletes. That they're role models. Because you got so many that as soon as they start getting paid, they turn into the thugs from hell.
Well, they're going to get paid now. College guys can get paid. We're going to watch. It'll be like the Wild Wild West now.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I can't wait to see all of that stuff. How people get persuaded to go to some other team, or some players are not even going to get the benefits from it because they're not going to be as popular, And the locker rooms used to be neutral. Now you're going to have a lot of people taking advantage that they can't get the same advantage, even on the same team. Yeah. Not that I'm going into sports so deep, but that's a big change.
Yeah, that's going to be real interesting.
Well, I'm glad for them to get paid, but it's not going to be really evenly spread in ways,
Yeah. Yeah. I love stories like, Rodrigo Blankenship, the kicker for Georgia, just walked on. Didn't have a scholarship or anything. And by the time he graduated, he's Georgia's points, got their points record as a kicker.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That would be me. the only likely spot I would play in football, and even then I'd have to beef up a little bit, but probably kicking a field goal would be my thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I played a little when I was younger, nothing major. I went out for high school football, and I had never done any organized sports. And the coach, it was his first year. I went out at the end of 8th grade so I could start in the 9th grade. And I don't remember what I did at the end of the first week, but he grabbed me by my face mask and led me over every inch of that field, screaming and cussing at me. And I said, well, I'm done with this shit. And the next year, they won state next year. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of responsibility when you're on a team because you got to be like, you got to play the team game. You got to be together and do the right thing and listen to the coach.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're not going to fit in.
Yeah.
Just not.
Yeah. But, I love watching. I like watching it, not as much as my wife does. She's diehard. And if Georgia isn't playing, she'll watch every other game that's playing. And I love doing football jokes, like Tennessee and Clemson. You know why their fans wear orange? That's so that they can go to the game Saturday, go hunting on Sunday, and go back to work picking up trash on Monday.
Well, she got a lot of paraphernalia for Georgia.
She's got some. She's like me. I'm not saying I'm cheap. I'm more frugal, and she's the same way. But she's got some. She's got some shirts that she loves and things like that. And, I've put a big G on our mailbox. I've got a vinyl cutter. I decorated it some, just things like that. Some flags. But yeah, she's a big fan. Big fan. She can. If I walked in the house right now, I could say how long, and she'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Till Georgia's opener with Clemson, and she can probably tell me down to 5 minutes on how long it is.
Well, this year, now Clemson, we'll see how good they are without their big quarterback. See what they can. They always find something, but
yeah,
it'd be interesting for them.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be interesting. And it's funny, not taking anything away from him, but the first time I saw him, I'm like, damn, Clemson's got a chick throwing the ball. And then I realized it wasn't. But I joke, he can outthrow me, I'm pretty sure.
It'll be very interesting to see how Urban Meyer does for Jacksonville now this year.
Mm-hmm.
Because back from college to the pros, taking on a team that's been struggling, that's going to be interesting,
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm just ready for cool weather to get here because I can do so much more out here because out here we've got snakes and I hate snakes.
Oh, yeah. Well, I actually have a snake in the house.
Oh, man. What you got?
Ball python.
Nice. Is it any kind of morph to it?
What's that?
Any kind of specific morph on the pattern or anything, or just a normal ball python?
Just normal, easy going. He's just kicks back in the cage, and feed him.
Yeah, well, those don't bother me.
No, I know, but you're talking some big ones because we watched the program on the HBO the other night, and they literally pay people to go prizes. The snakes are like out of control because the eggs and they just multiply, and these things are so big.
Yeah.
Unbelievable the size of these things, man. And they're eating like cattle.
Yeah. Yeah, down in Florida, people were releasing their pet pythons when they'd get tired of them, and they've gotten in the Everglades and took off.
Yeah. What kind of bird you got going on there? I hear a nice big birdie.
I don't know what it is. There's one out in a tree here. Like I say, I'm out here in the backyard, literally. I'm just chilling out here.
Yeah, we got a lot of birds, too. And my wife usually was like, oh, that's, I can't recognize that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Man, when people hear this podcast, they where are these guys going? Talk about birds in the backyard and snakes, and I love it.
Oh man, my fans I go everywhere. Like I said, I've gone from Grammys to Bigfoot in one sentence. Because I am a believer. I am. And it's funny, a lot of people say you're crazy and make fun of that, which is fine. But there is actually a sector of Bigfoot believers that the Bigfoot believers make fun of. And it's awesome. There are people that believe they're interdimensional and that they can actually talk to them telepathically. And I don't believe that. It's a damn animal we haven't found yet. That's what I think. I could be wrong. Who knows? But oh
Yeah,
man,
you could be wrong.
yep, I could be wrong. It could not be one, or it could be an alien that knows everything I'm thinking right now, standing 10 feet from me, watching me with a cloaking device. Who knows? Oh man, there's no telling. Like I said, weird is my wheelhouse. But yeah,
Oh man, I'm glad you're alive and feeling good about everything. That's the most important right now for you. You know.
definitely, definitely, man. I look at it this way: if I can't have fun doing something, it's not worth doing. I love I love making people smile. I love having fun, and I love helping people. It works for me. It's just what I've always
Well,
done.
you're definitely in the business of helping people. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
God bless you.
The one thing that really gets on my nerves was when people say COVID isn't as bad as they say. Um, it is. I'm watching it spike now. It's coming up a lot. A week ago we had 2 people in our hospital with it. Now we're up to 58 in just a
That's a
week.
lot of people.
Yeah,
That's feds that could use some other people
yeah.
for other, you know.
And I've seen it take healthy people, young people, old people, gay, straight, black, white. It don't matter. It don't care who you are. When it wants you, it'll take you. So please be careful with this stuff.
Oh yeah, believe me,
Yeah.
it's all beyond cautiousness. You know, try. You know,
Yeah.
it'd be nice to be able to get everybody on the same page.
Yeah.
Just try to make it a lot better.
And what's really hard for me is, being an older Southern gentleman, I was raised to be a handshaker. If I meet you, the first thing I'm going to do is shake your hand, and I'm having to break that habit. And that is driving me insane because it's part of my DNA.
So since we've been out,
Yeah.
we've been doing it.
Yeah.
In fact, uh, we went from. I remember when we first came out to the festival, we started doing the elbows,
Mm-hmm.
and then next, we're hugging,
Yep.
fucking in each other's ear at the show.
Yep.
Everything, hands with everyone. It didn't matter, It's like, I guess that's just. It's hard to shake that off,
Yeah, and I'm a hugger too. That's tough.
Yeah, I know. I would, even if I played clubs and if I just saw those people only at those bars and they became like friends at the bar and not so much anywhere else.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man? Give everybody a nice little hug. And it's like, I always wondered, why did I do that? But it was okay. Sometimes I wonder, are you okay with that? Because you wanted to do it too. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Sometimes it was a nice thing to do,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna hopefully get back to normal soon. I hope anyway. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, well, I hope we do too. I really do.
Yeah, because I'm ready for you to get down here to Atlanta with the Journey cover. I'm ready for that.
Yeah, that would be cool, right? I mean,
Yeah.
maybe we'll have to find a good venue for me down there, and we'll come down for sure.
Oh, I will find one. How many seats do you want?
Well, hey, look, the last thing, the only show we've done so far has been like a theater, one of those smaller theaters. I don't know, it was maybe 1,000. It wasn't like Radio City. It wasn't like a 3,500, something like that.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're not opposed to playing anywhere, but you want to. But then again, I played halls that were 500 people, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
It's just whatever it takes to get the band where it needs to go. I mean, we travel.
Yeah. One thing I learned about small places, the first time I ever played somewhere really small, I figured out really quick, in a big place, when one person laughs or claps, it's just kind of contagious. Everybody does it. But with a really small audience, you earn every clap and laugh you get because it's not contagious. And I love that. It's more personal.
Yeah, because, I mean, you can see everybody, you can feel everything, and everybody's getting a real good close-up view and sound and everything. Yeah, it's good,
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to any of that. I love playing small bars too. I mean, not the journey thing, it probably would be better off in something a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But at the same time, a cover band, we play a lot of good old bars where we move a few tables after everybody got done eating, and we move it and we roll.
Been there. I played a place actually here where I live at now. I didn't live here before then, but I did a place. They had a comedy show, and basically they moved a couple of tables. And one thing I did in that show, I love hot foods, and I'd never done this before. I went to the cook before the show and said, "What's your hottest wing?" And he told me the hottest one on the menu. I said, "No. What's your hottest wing?" He said, "I'll fix you up." He fixed me 2 of them. That's all I wanted. And about halfway through the show, I told everybody, "All right, I'm going to eat these 2 wings that are ridiculous, and I'm going to try and finish my act." And it was so much fun. I wouldn't do it on a huge stage, but that little bitty venue, just everybody having fun, and it was so great, and it went over really well.
Yeah, I'm glad that you actually had food during your show.
Yeah.
I've actually a bowl of popcorn. That's probably the closest I came with some food. And every once in a while, if we had a second, I'd take a handful of popcorn. It was probably dumb because I had to clean my mouth out while I was trying to sing again, but that really doesn't work until I'm done.
Yeah, I did a place in Kennesaw about 5 or 6 years ago, and it was a pizza place. And a buddy of mine actually had a room there that he would go up and set up comedy shows. I'm like, okay, cool. So I drive up there from Augusta, where I was living at the time, and I've got a friend with me. We get there early. We just buy our pizza. He says, "We're going to cover your pizza. Don't worry. I'll just buy my pizza. Hell with it. I don't care." And it was so funny because the show was ran so badly. It was in the sports bar part of the pizza place. And I can't remember. It was some championship was going on. Nobody gave a shit that comedians were there. We were basically playing for each other. And I was one of the first ones to get up. I was like, okay, yeah, this was fun, but it's starting to get late. I need to get the hell out of here. And about the time me and my friend were about to leave, the owner came out and said, "Hey, you gotta fucking go. Y'all are getting on my customers' nerves," talking to the guy who booked the room. Oh, it was so funny. Oh, man.
That's too funny. Hey, man, you know what? You know how to roll.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You know how to roll.
That's it.
I get you.
That's it.
Man, I'll tell you, this has been a wonderful thing to have a chance to talk to you. It's definitely a different experience, and man, I hope you enjoyed it all.
Oh, man, I've had a blast. And you're welcome on here anytime. I don't care when. All you got to do is call and say, "Yo, let's record." It takes me 2 minutes to set up.
Well, thank you. I mean, you know what? We all have our numbers now. You never know.
That's it.
You never.
That is it, my friend.